Alright everybody, it's R Klaus here, and I've got a great video for you today, a tremendous amount to go over, so be sure to familiarize yourself with my previous videos as well as occult research in general, as there is really just immense amount going on here. There's a lot of depth and complexity, but it's very fascinating once you understand a bit more the framework that it's all set upon, alright? And so also very quickly, thank you very much to everybody who has been subscribing, engaging in comments, sharing the videos, all of that. It is very much appreciated. It's always very inspiring to see, and some of the comments are very insightful, i.e. from Hey1111, tuning us into this story from TMZ, which I want to talk about quite a bit today, and also like from Janine Kante, who helped tune me into the connection between Roberta Flack and Erica Badu, and also just a huge shout out, since I'm doing it, to Granite Rabbit, huge collaborator with me on a lot of this information. And so with all that being said, I do want to jump right into this because there's an immense amount of ground to cover. So notice this is from yesterday, May 13th of 2016, written by TMZ staff, alright, no actual author on this, talking about Austin Zamora. Again, I'm going to look into that later, but that name is 6 letters in both names, a nice 6-6, as well as the 1-8 from Austin, or the A and Z from that being reduced down. I'm going to talk about that in quite a bit depth here, but let me keep moving. Notice where his profession is a crane operator, and he came under a lot of scrutiny, as you see here, death threats from the Beehive, after he jokingly made a Twitter reply that he wishes he could make the stage collapse on her, something to that effect, at her San Diego show, which was yesterday. And so a lot to be said about that, sure, but notice here, crane operator, CO, that's 36, a very important number. And again, notice it here, 1242, that's 3 and 6 if we reduce those down. And so as I've been talking about lately, the 36 triangular number, which comes up a lot in the coding, is a 666 there. Alright, a lot to be said about that. I'm going to show you that all over the place as usual here, and we're going to talk in extensive depth about this. So let's get right into it. For TMZ staff, notice that the Jewish value is the same as AF 141. And so for those of you not familiar with Aldous Huxley, again, AH, that's 1-8, very important there. Just like Austin Zamora there, but in his book A Brave New World, AF 141 is the year that the 9 Years' War began, and of course a lot to be said about that, but it is essentially when everything was overthrown and the new world order was put into place. And so the Gregorian calendar equivalent of that year is 2049, and so obviously it's 2016, but if we subtract that from 2049, we do get the number 33, which is of immense significance, absolutely, in looking into all these esoteric codings. Now notice down here the English and simple values for AF 141 are the same as More Than a Dreamer, alright, and so all of this tying into Beyonce's Formation video. Again, this man pulling this up in there, the truth, the French horns, all of that I talked about at length in the past here, and again, so just notice all of the coding there, satanic ideology, Project Monarch, so on and so forth. I do want to draw your attention back up to the English and simple values though for 833, because you do see the age of Aquarius as well as Comet Elenin, Rapture, Made in United States, this phrase, time is measured in blood, love agenda, agenda and superstition. Now notice the English and simple values for TMZ staff are 666 and 111, alright, which are the same as Formation, alright, the video we just took a screenshot of and looked at there, as well as Save the Bees, again, something that is written on the front of Erica Badu's most recent EP, but you can't use my phone, excuse me there, but you see that right at the bottom, pretty big, pretty prevalent. So again, I've talked about this number tremendously, but let's keep going here. Notice again, exclusive details just from the front here. I do want to look at it because I do think it's important. I do want you to see it has the Jewish values for our number is 11, as well as Voice of Devil. Now remember, with the number 11 is the number of points on the clip-off. That is the inverted tree of life, said to be the embodiment of the energies that drive people towards misery, self-destruction, war, suffering, all of that, all right? And it's also the lust card, very important to keep in mind as well. But notice these English and simple values down here. Not only do we have these crucial 1, 14, and 19 references if we drop these zeros, but it's also the same as the formula of INRI, okay? So very important there, because so much of this comes down to this. You see from this very profound seal here, not only do we have the INRI, but also the 33 up atop there. So a lot of information there. I do want you to just see the connections though, and again, if you're actually looking into the coding here, you do see reference to Aleister Crowley 111, alright, just like this simple value up here and its connection to formation. But notice as well the United States, Rosicrucian Order, FEMA internment camps, alright, all of these very troubling things in here, alright, 4 horsemen, so on and so forth. So let's keep moving here though, and we're looking at crane operator, alright, because again you see that 3-6 there. I'm going to go into that in much more depth in just a moment, but notice here that the Jewish value is 555, and I just do think it's very weird that the the can next to this here, all right, notice the Bud Light can next to this story here, the word new, this reduces down, this is 555, all right, and it's actually in the middle of 5, right, or 3 points of 555, all right, you see that with the stars there, and so really wild to me how that's coded up there. You also see it's the same value as Purple Rain, not only a huge album from Prince, but also said to be the last thing that he was performing live before he died, soon after that, alright, and so notice as well, reference towards entertainment, demon mind control, Church of the Damned, Satan cult, and this phrase, indifference is killing America. I think that's pretty profound. You also see entertainers, Satan shall rise and the moon shall be blood. Now look down here, because the English and simple values are the same as Dallas Trade Mart as well as Pasadena, California. Remember, Beyonce is playing the Rose Bowl there tonight, and I've talked a lot about that. You also see reference to David Copperfield. I do want to show you again where I'm referencing him all the time here. It's from this House Resolution 642 to recognize magic as a rare and valuable art form as well as national treasure. He's mentioned 8 times in that bill, so please look into it. It's very real, and notice that was the 114th Congress as well. Again, coming back up to that English value there, and I will talk more about that number again. 11 times 4, 44, number with kill, magic, hope, so on. But do notice here that you do have the coding for God of all things and GB33ZB, and so now this is all wild, and remember from when I was looking into the Erykah Badu remix of Window Seat with Rick Ross, this is the last thing that we see before the to be continued at the end. Remember, Rick Ross has picked her up after being reincarnated, after being assassinated in Dealey Plaza in the first Window Seat video, and then after all of that, in the end of the remix video, it ends with gunshots and the phrase to be continued, alright, so I'll talk more about that again in a second, but notice as well, because God of all things comes up, the reference to Obama on the Newsweek cover, Shiva over there, God of all things being the word goat. I want you to see, because this has actually come up quite a bit in the coding here, the blood of a goat, alright, and so you see it with, let me get you to a good one here, and notice these are all absolutely relevant, but so to tie it in directly with Beyonce here, you do see it as the same English and simple value coming up for Mike Will Made It, again the producer for Formation, okay, and you do see reference to my name in there as well as Judas Be My Guide. You see Cornerstone, Global Control, Anuit Coptus, the universe, okay, all of these very important things tied in with this number, with this concept, alright, and again, those images very closely mirroring that of the Erykah Badu album coming out recently, and so a lot to be said there, absolutely, but let us keep moving here though, because I want you to see here for the actual coding of 894 and 149, again this is from Crane Operator, you do see skull and bones as well as the meaning of life, end of the world. You do see reference to the number 66, again incredibly important number, comes up in connection with a lot of very significant things, but I do want to show you the number 997 because this is just a very interesting piece to show you a bit more, prefacing getting into this 36 business I'm about to go into. So notice here it does come up with all of these bits, Freemasons and the Illuminati for the actual numbers 997, as well as Doctrine of Destruction. Alright, so now notice if we do 99 times 7, we'll get the number 693. Okay, and so with that, you do have this phrase in here, what was under Benjamin Franklin's home at 36 Craven Street. Alright, and as I've discussed in a number of the videos here, the whole article from the Smithsonian here with the people under his house, again at least 15 people as the Devil Tarot card, as well as 12 being the Hanged Man Tarot card, all very important and directly fueling into this here. But again, just noticing his address, one of the founding fathers, again a noted Freemason, and that is absolutely detailed in this article, but living at that 36 address, and again remembering the 36th triangular number being 666. Alright, and so another reason I tune you into that, again taking a look at this article here, compasses of the grandmasters for the lodges here are set to 36 degrees, alright, while those of past grandmasters are set to 29, alright, and you do see that 29 here in this same skull and bones coding and this 997, all of that, alright. So again, immensely interesting stuff here. Again, the Path of Resh, that is the Sun card, arguably what a lot of this is towards. You also see small sacrifices. Now let's keep going here. Now let's jump back for just a split second here to the front so you can see his Twitter name here, ALZ21CCO. Alright, and so let me jump back here so we can be sure we stay all in line. Alright, and so now notice for ALZ, if we reduce those letters, we get 138, alright? And so that is the same simple value as Beyonce's Lemonade as a starting point there. Very, very wild. It's also the same as Sade Bring Me Home, as you see popping up on the other side here. Notice as well coming up there, Donald Trump, number 7, I Hear Horsemen, behind the 11, alright? Great architect. Again, these ideas of crane operator, right, building something. Very interesting connections. You also see it's the same as Cat Williams. Very important there as well. Masturbate Me, again from the song Ride Johnny Ride, or from the song Bullet, which says Ride Johnny Ride, as well as Masturbate Me Continuously. It's about the assassination of Kennedy. Again, here you see that, as well as the reference of We Are 138. Again, I will talk about this more later, but I do want you to see that when it's spelled out, it is the same values as the Window Seat Remix, as well as Mercedes-Benz Superdome, and that is going to be where Beyonce's New Orleans show is, one of the recently added 7 new dates on there. Alright, so let's jump back here though, let's keep going. So you see all those same values there. It's wild. 21, that's the Universe card. It's the actual 22nd card because 0 is counted in the tarot, so a lot of ways you could read into that, but notice here that CCO is 336, alright, which when we multiply down we get 198, and so this is wild because this is the same value as Frankfurt, Germany. And so let me show you, if I can spell here, why that is so important, and I just wanted to pull up my main piece for you here. Give me just one second. Alright. No, that's not the one I want. That's the one I want. Alright, so Frankfurt, Germany there. Notice the Jewish value. It's the same English value as civil rights leader. Again, very, very important, but we're looking at the number 198. That is the simple value down here, and you do see that we get it in response to the number 3 times 66 also equals 198, and that is the coding for formation in Pasadena. But again, just for the actual values here, you do see the Brotherhood seal, the United Nations, history repeats, the key to the seals, as well as the second 9/11 and weather modification, alright, next to the Scottish Rite. So all very interesting, very compelling stuff. And notice the Frankfurt Germany show is going to be at Commerzbank Arena, and this is on the 29th of July. Now that's wild because I've been pointing this out to you as a potential last day number. I'll reiterate it more at the end of the video because it will come up there as well, but that is also the day that Badu's new movie, The Land, is going to be released. A lot to be said there. Notice all of the things here. This is 94 days. That will be 94 days into her Formation World Tour, which equals 3 months and 3 days. Another 33 there. Notice as well, 94 breaks down to 13, the death card. So all of that there. Again, pause, look down below so you can see the coding for Commerce Bank Arena there, and we will come back to it later. So now all of that is very wild, all right? But now let's take a look at one of the ways that we can actually break down that name, ALZ21CCO, bringing it all in there. And so notice you do get reference to Civil War, huge, as well as 2018. And so you might breathe a sigh of relief thinking that 2018 could be the year that they do it. And so yeah, who knows? I can't say with any certainty when the trigger will be pulled on all of this, but I do want to advise that a way of looking at 2018 is the number 11, because the 2 and 1 is 3, and then the 8 is 11. All right, again, the lust card, all of the things we've talked about. Now look down here. The English and simple values are the same as 9 Years' War. So how wild is that? And notice with the 912 there, it is funny to me. Could definitely be a veiled reference to the Simpsons, the Stonecutters episode. They give them the real number to the police. It's 912. Again, you see all of the, of course, over-the-top imagery there to mock it, so on. But notice again, it is the same values as 9 Years' War, and then you get spelled out here the number 36, all right, as well as Truman Show. So let's take a look here. Let's jump over to the Truman Show stuff. I want you to see that is absolutely the house that Truman lives in. And so for those of you not familiar with this movie, it's Jim Carrey, who, again, just looking at his name there, Jim, 3 letters, Carrey, 6 letters, another 3, 6 for that there, starting with J and C. That's 1 and 3, 13, death card. All right, all of that fascinating. I think he's supposed to be the head of the Los Angeles chapter of some secret society or what have. But in any case, Truman Show is about this man's life who's completely engineered and made as a reality show, essentially, from people who are watching him from the moon. And so very troubling stuff with that, to say the least. All right, and so jumping back here, though, let's take a little look further at all of this before I show you more from Truman there. Notice here you have reference to the all-seeing eye, as well as the number 421, and that is the same Jewish value for Pasadena, California, all the way spelled out like that. I do have here that you have the word Sade perfectly in the middle of Pasadena. Very interesting to me. You do see the secret sign, as well as the Agenda Project, Masonic imagery, and veiled allegory. All right, so all of that absolutely crucial from where I stand. Now notice here, 9 Years' War, the Jewish value, since this is the English and simple, you do get 666 / Lord of Lords, as well as reference to New Orleans, Louisiana. Okay, you also see tearing the world apart, but remember in the Formation video, that is where Beyonce drowns on top of the police cars in New Orleans. And so very, very interesting to see how that comes up there. Now I want you to see, because I do have flagged here the 9 Years' War, so let's type that up for you real quick. Sorry, give me just a second there. I really didn't mean to hit that dead air. Really don't know why it's giving me so much grief. Huh. Alright, so I don't know what's going on there. As you can clearly see, I have the 9 Years' War typed in right there. I guess it's because there's an apostrophe right after it there. But do notice with the 9 Years' War fully spelled out, you do see reference to Donald John Trump, as well as Book of Revelation, Secrets Kept Hidden. And I do want you to see here the powers that be, the Word of Thoth, and the Masterpiece Ion. Alright, and so that's very important because we did see a reference to see the Masterpiece Ion when we were talking about Horatio Greeno, alright, who is the man who developed the enthroned Washington statue. Again, you see here all of the sun references there, as well as the double 5 packed in, enthroned Washington, of course, having the same values of John F. Fitzgerald Kennedy and MK Ultra mind control. But again, for Horatio Greeno, remember the V sign. Beyonce is throwing it up in the formation video. I did show you the Greek gods that is associated with. You also see reference to is the mark of the beast and by the hand of NEMA. Again, remember that is the National Emergency Management Association. All right, and so all of that absolutely compelling to look into there. But so now let's jump back here to the Truman Show just for a second. Again, I do want you to see with this intro here where he's standing in front of his house, not only the 36, but you clearly have the two X's here, all right, 24th letter, 2 and 4, 6, 6. So you see that there, and again, that came up with the skull and bones coding, the Pasadena coding, all of that. So important, but you can see another one down here, all right, so you have the 666, and then you have a 66 next to it there, all right. Notice as well the bizarre window pane and the way this is drawn here. So this looks like a perfect shadow cross, all right, this inverted shadow world of this, okay. So very, very interesting to say the least. But now let's go down here. And I'm sorry this isn't a little bigger for you, but this is when he's trying to leave. Of course, it's all controlled. They don't want him to do that. You see it could happen to you with the plane being struck down there by lightning. Now look at this all here because you do see reference to the beginning of a new era, as well as tectonic movements, abusive and cruel, as well as hate, strife, and division. It's what characterizes our world today, and then followed by a world of despair. It's another way of phrasing it. Notice down below the English and simple values are the same as 411 Elm Street. That is the road that JFK was shot on, as well as Volcano Entertainment. They put out tools, Lateralis. Again, I've done a lot of work showing you that, but look here, Golden Dawn, Hermetic Order, Crowley's full name spelled out there, as well as For Whom the Bell Tolls, the Illuminati Project, Large Hadron Collider Accident, the 777 there, absolutely huge. And notice here this 1080 and 180, and so that's very interesting to say the least, because the English and simple values that have that are CBS News Bulletin. Again, look at the breakdown up here. Comes down to 13, the death card, but do see here Methods of Madness, Deconstruction, The Master Builder, Signs of Deception, and 444. Now, very interestingly to me here, again, I looked at this in the past, the 444, you see this is the Jewish values up top here, Order of Thelema, Head Mind Control, Dualism, so on. But I want to show you as well, because I just thought that this was fascinating, from Erykah Badu's official fan site here, alright, you can see that every single post on here is by a individual named Susan, alright, and so it's very interesting to me. And so when you look into Susan, I mean, it can be an anagram for the phrase as sun, alright, and I think that's interesting because it does start with S, the 19th letter, which is indeed very important. That is the sun card. But notice as well for Susan, the Jewish value is the same as Pasadena, California, alright, down below. That English and simple for her is 444, alright. Notice all the profound people coded with that, the religious figures, Jesus, Lucifer, Muhammad, Masonic, Cross, Jewish, the key, Occult, alright, killing, all of those in there, fire and ice, these dualisms, that whole world that they've created, okay. So now keep moving here, because that's definitely fascinating, but there is so much more. This is the beginning of the movie here, day 1909, and so I want you to see, if you drop those zeros out of that there, you get 199, alright, so that's the same simple value as the Tetragrammaton and the phrase do what thou wilt, alright, absolutely paramount. Keep moving here though, and so let's look at this one other way. Remember, Austin's name on there was ALZ21CCO, so 2 and 1 is 3 is how we get that there. Now notice here this Jewish value, it's the same as love, alright. Remember from the very beginning, this was the love agenda, alright, and so you see here 11, as well as I am an instrument, the 19th letter, the throne of Lucifer, and martyrdom, okay, all of that very bizarre, but take a look at those English and simple values, because they are the same as she is there. Okay, and so now this is troubling. This is where it's going to really start tying in heavy to the things that I showed you back from that Family Guy video. And again, noticing here The she is there, and it's the age of Aquariums. All right, we're going to get to that in just a moment here. But so again, notice that 116, 11 times 6, 66, and also this 116 is the death of on the same day that this was reported, the world's oldest woman died. I'm going to talk about her at the end here, but so interesting. But there's that 66 again. Notice you do have P symbol again. That is an inverted cross. It's the cross of Nero. Very interesting story behind it. Look there, you see Rothschild as well as Thursday. Now this is interesting to me because notice back here, she is there, the 245, and the 245th day of this year does happen to be a Thursday, and I think it's September 1st, if I can get this to load up for me here. So there you have that there, and notice again the days remaining is 121. And so that's absolutely imperative in all of this, because 121 is the same simple value as Antichrist. Again, something we've been looking at tremendously. You have the references to blood sacrifice, Don Trump, top secret, so on. But they've come up quite a bit here. I'll scroll through a bit for you. But again, I recommend you just watch the older videos so you can see how this connects and actually hear me elaborate on it fully. But notice it is the simple value for Erica Rite. That is Erica Badu's birth name, and you do have reference to the number 121 in the coding for 77. Again, reductions for ML and JFK's initials coming down to that 77, that 121 there. All right, and that's coded then with all this other stuff we're seeing, including Badu. Now take a look back over here. You do see reference to Goldman Sachs, Powerful, Royalty, Scales of Law, as well as Illuminate, 2 again, the 22 paths of the tree of life, but you do also see reference to Santa Claus. All right, and so notice that with the Santa Claus in the 19th letter, and also just jumping back here, the 245, the Thursday reference. All right, all of that tying into this one episode here. All right, with Family Guy. This is still from the same one. And notice here, Mrs. Claus, the XXX again, 666. You see Santa, the S on this side here, but really it's Sun, that divine letter there, and you have the agenda, the love agenda in the middle of these two. Okay, definitely please go watch that video. It is very fascinating, a lot of good stuff in there. But so let's keep going here, because for Austin Zamora, so now this is this guy's actual name. Let me jump up here so you can see it. There he is. So you can just get familiar with that. Now let me jump back here so we can actually look at this. I want you to see again, as I pointed out in the beginning, the 6-6 from the letter of Numbers, and again that A and Z is 18, just like Aldous Huxley is 18. All right, very important. You do see reference to building block upon building block. All right, again, he's a crane operator, and you do see current 333. Remember from that Family Guy episode I was just talking about, it did air December 21st of 2001, and so that 333 we got from that, it's somewhere, there you go, you've got it for you. Right on this side there, and so more on that, and again that does connect to Badu as well, but you also see doctrine revealed, see unto this day. I'm going to show you that as well as factual evidence. Now look here, you see the English and simples are the same as Columbia Records, that's who put out Formation, as well as Solvet Coagula. Remember that is on the goat of Mendes arms. It means dissolution and coagulation. It is a paramount alchemical model, is also the hidden meaning of the Lover's Tarot card. And again, you see that phrase, ride, Johnny, ride, from the song about him being assassinated and then Danzig performing sodomy on Jackie O. And so keep going here. You do see reference to Tree of Life and Death, as well as Mother Nature, Set of Fire of Love, and Tarot card reading. Now here's unto this day, as we were told to see here from Austin Zamora's name. But notice here, same simple value as Aldous Huxley and Plan 9 Records. All right, so not only everything I was just outlining there, but do remember that this Bullet EP came out on Plan 9 Records. Okay, and so you can see that all written out there right up here. Not at all reaching on that. Again, 1001, that's the location of the Rose Bowl show. Beyonce's playing tonight, so fascinating stuff there. And so again, I'll pull this up for you on the side so that you can see A little more about, what is it, 1002. So you can see the Plan 9 stuff, the Aldous Huxley stuff, alright, there's some more connections for him there, and again, just so you can see how all of that comes in there. 7 is the key, time is relevant, Lucifer and Jesus, these dualities all built in. But notice the Jewish value for 1002, you have David Rockefeller, Babylonian Brotherhood, as well as Devil's Night, Wicked Man, Severe Hit, and Savage Beast. Okay, so now the English and simple values, you do have 666 written out, as well as 33 and as above, so below. Alright, very profound, heavy hitting numbers there. You also see 978, and okay, that's next to Final Curtain Call, but I do want to show you 978 because that has come up quite a bit. Here it is in that Family Guy episode again. And notice it's also the same as the 7th seal, okay, 211, from the T, S, and S on that, immensely important. So look into all of that coding right there. Again, we've been talking about 555, that is Wild Wild West, what you see there, WWW, and it is 4 letters apiece, so it's that 444 as well. Again, all of these references here, but do notice that 878 comes up, and that is absolutely Commerce Bank Arena, that place that Beyonce is going to be playing in Germany. Again, the 3-3, all of this that's coded with that there. Very, very fascinating. Alright, again, Final Curtain Call coded with it. We're almost through this here. I do want you to see the mom is quoted as saying 5 words he didn't even mean. Again, pulling this apart, but do notice the Jewish value there. You see perfect God, and then 777. Again, we saw that number come up earlier. You also see the whole world shall break through. Now notice the English and simple values are the same as I got hot sauce in my bag swag. Alright, and so that should not be, I should not be able to make that come up like that and be the same. It's very troubling to see that. Alright, 264 is also coding when we do 66 times 4. Again, you can see how I get that from Full Flower Moon, FFM there, but breaking down, you see all of this troubling coding, and so here you can have a look at what is with the I got hot sauce in my bag swag. But you do see here 333 and 3 days after a full moon. Alright, and so again, that full flower moon is excuse me, the date that I came up with from that video of May 24th is 3 days after that full flower moon. Let me see if I can pop that up for you. Okay, so there's all that. Sorry for a little bit of a jumble there, but you do see, so the day that I picked out from that episode, May 24th, 3 days after the full flower moon, etc. But so now notice here, with that all connected there, 3 days after a full moon, and the walls begin to tumble. Okay, so very interesting to say the least. Now, at the very end of this article, they say down, beehive down, because again, there was all these death threats toward Austin, and so see here, Bavarian Illuminati, demon mind control, as well as I can't lie to myself. And notice these English and simples down here are the same as Lisa Respers France. That is the woman who wrote the Beyonce, the decoding Beyonce's Lemonade. Again, you got that 888 from that. Look at all of this, her article 114, how that comes out. But very interesting stuff there, so do notice all of that. You do see the satanic bloodline as well as murdering mother in there. So notice up above for down, beehive down, you see how little we know, and the public do not lead, they follow the artist. Couldn't be more true. And look at this here, this is bizarre. Firefighter Mark Taylor, prophetic revelation of Donald Trump. That's actually all in there like that, and that is actually all like actual thing. This guy here, I'll leave you the article. It's kind of weird, interesting to say the least. But so all of this, and I do want you to see for beehive, here's this coding for it down here. The 5 of Cups coming up with that is interesting. because it does have the idea of disturbance when least expected during a time of ease. And so a lot of the other stuff that comes up with it is very troubling. It talks about the beginning of destruction and the influence of both Scorpio and putrefying powers of water acting upon the environment. And so all interesting to say the least when that's coming up in there. And you do see this code 144. Again, if I were to just type in 144 from today, you could see that it comes up the English value for it could happen to you. And again, you see then 411 Elm Street where JFK was shot, 4 times 11, 44, just like 1 times 44 maintains it. All right, so very fascinating. Now, last bit here. On the same day that this article came out, there was also the death of Susanna Mushat Jones, and so notice she dies at the age of 116, 11 times 6, 66, and that 311, 3 times 11, 33, 66 plus 33, 99, on and on and on. Notice as well, because I brought this up earlier, ALZ3CCO has that symbol of 116, and all of the connections that we went over with that, so very interesting. Now, take a look at her coding down here, because she has reference to 11 times 11, all right, and that's 121, all right, and I noted that that's September 1st, the 245th day. There's 121 days remaining. We're just talking about that, so it's very troubling. It comes up again. You see poisoning our environment. Description is beyond evil. United States is run by demons. And these two at the end here, there's nothing you can do to stop me. And you think I am kidding, don't you? All right. So definitely comes across as taunting there down below. Barack Obama is hiding Comet Elenin. The 22 paths. This is serious stuff. You see civil rights leader is killed. The Rockefeller Foundation, and another one bites the dust. All right. So now if we take out her middle name and just look up Susanna Jones, all right, her Jewish value there, white horse. You see the number of the last day, as well as divine truth and fool/universe. Again, the fool is the first card, the universe is the last one. Therefore, it would be referential towards the great work itself, everything in between. You also see United States Army thrown in there. Now look down here, these English and simples, because they are the same as Commerce Bank Arena and Andrew Reynolds, all right, Reynolds, the co-star on a very profound episode of The Simpsons that I looked into. But so there, you do see that coming up again, all of that connection, subconscious, messages revealed, satanic rulers, devil worship, Luciferian Mason, ultra poison, and mystical arts, okay? Very important number, okay? And again, Andrew Reynolds, A9, 19, Sun card, all of this here, okay? Very troubling. That's all I've got for you today. If you don't think that that is the date for that, I will pull this up for you really quick. I guess not that. This one right here. Formation World Tour. You can obviously find all of this information yourself, but you do see July 29th, Frankfurt, Germany. Commerce Bank Arena, all of that information is absolutely solid on it. And so just last little bit here. Do notice this is from the single for Erykah Badu's Window Seat song. You got the 333, 6F, that's 6, this 11P. Again, that could be, because P is the 16th letter, it could be a 1116 reference, which does bring us back to all of this New Orleans police, Horatio Greeno, the Grassy Knoll, Sade, Bring Me Home Live, alright, all of that stuff being connected in there. And it could also be taken, P reduced down as 7, so 11 times 7, again, 77. That is the age of Roberta Flack right now, and it's very interesting for a number of other reasons connected to Badu there, and so definitely something to consider. And since I did bring it up earlier, 26F, 266, sorry to be toggling so much there. The end of the videos I always get a little jumbled because I feel like there's more that I should say to you here. And so again, notice the Bring Me Home connection there. It's the same simple value as Amazonian boa constrictor. Again, very fascinating connection I pulled out with that there, but it's also the same as Representative Pete Sessions, the Republican of Texas, who is the individual who introduced this magic bill. And again, this is his 19th year in the 114th Congress, 19 as that just wonderful sun card reference, and again 114, all of the inversion and straightforward references of that to JFK. Notice here for Susanna Jones, since it has all these important things here, 9 and 6 is 15, the Devil card, 1 and 5 is 6, then the Lovers card, and then 16, the Tower card. All of this very important. Remember, 2016 is the new, excuse me, not the new, is the 16th year of the new millennium, and so it would be the year of the Tower card in a lot of ways. So a lot to keep in mind there, absolutely a lot to consider. Sorry is a little longer than I was anticipating it to be. I did freeze up there a couple of times and get lost, but just because, right, the typos, so on. But thank you very much for everybody taking the time to watch these videos. We'll see what happens in the coming days here. The plot is definitely thickening more and more, and so keep your eyes peeled, all of that. Again, thank you for watching, and please be well.